raise before we do so in terms of what's been covered? Okay. So could I ask Broadcasting to confirm that the meeting has moved from closed session to public session? Just waiting for confirmation.
Hope they haven't gone for their lunch.
Okay, members, as the committee is now in public session, can I begin by welcoming all members to the committee of the AERC and indeed any members of the public watching on. Turning now to agenda item number 4, which is the role and functions of the AERC. Could I refer members to the Secretariat briefing paper at 4.1, page 57 of the meeting pack? And at this stage, could I invite our clerk, Shane, to speak briefly to this item?
Thank you, Chair. The paper at page 57 just sets out the key functions of the committee. Members will see that the functions originated from the Section 29A of the Northern Ireland Act 1998. The detailed kind of practical arrangements for the committee's operation are provided for in Standing Order 59. During the mandate 2011 to 2016, the then ARC fulfilled part of its functions when it reported in April 2015 on the operation of the provisions of parts 3 and 4 of the 1998 Act. So a big part of the committee's functions, statutory functions, were fulfilled at that time. So the residual kind of remaining function for the committee is set out in Standing Order 59.3b, which states that the committee shall consider such other matters relating to the functioning of the Assembly or the Executive Committee as may be referred to it by the Assembly. So as I say, that's the current function, and generally matters would be referred to the committee from the Assembly. So that's essentially the functions of the committee, Chair, just for members to note.
Okay, members, so we've had a brief outline from the clerk. Does anybody have any particular questions surrounding the role and remit of the committee? Okay, so we'll move to the next item of business, which is item number 5, which is the identification of potential topics for the committee work programme. Could I refer members to the Secretariat briefing paper at 5.1, page 63 of your pack, and the AERC Legacy Report 2017 to 2022 at 5.2, page 66 of the meeting pack, and again invite Shane to speak on this item.
Yes, thanks, Chair. This paper really sets out steps or proposed steps that the committee may wish to take in terms of identifying potential topics for its work programme. The steps are really, the process is really one that's been tried and tested by previous ARC committees. It includes, first of all, taking into account the legacy recommendations from the predecessor committee. So also then the other steps would include writing to the executive side, FMD-FM, for proposals for the committee's work programme, writing to all the Assembly parties and the independent members, inviting proposals, and also to other committees where there might be overlap with the role and functions of this committee, including the Procedures Committee and also Chairperson Liaison Group. So really inviting topics, suggested topics, and then when the committee gets all of those topics collated, then it would hold a strategic planning session and decide and prioritise on its work programme for the remainder of the mandate. The last committee in the last mandate, when it undertook that process, I think there were a total of over 30 suggested topics, and then it considered all of those in terms of feasibility. Some of them related more to the remit of other committees. It whittled those down to those 4 strategic priorities that the last committee identified, which included entitlements for an official opposition, designations and the appointment of a First Minister and Deputy First Minister, committee effectiveness, and also gender and diversity imbalances in the Assembly. And you'll see from the paper that the last committee suggested that this committee might wish to take those areas forward. Some work was progressed and a lot of evidence was published, but the last committee had recommendations to this committee that it might want to progress those matters as part of that process of gathering suggestions. Chair.
Okay, thanks Shane for that. I suppose probably a tried and tested model where we're casting the net out to all government departments, all individual members, parties, independents. We'll see what comes back. As I said, the committee it's an impossibility for the committee to deal with all of those issues. In fact, some of them that will come in won't even relate to the work of the committee, but it's an appropriate step that we go through procedurally that we do that. Are members content with the steps outlined in paragraph 5 and 6 that the committee goes out to the different bodies, departments and members to develop the work programme for the AERC committee? Content? Thank you, members. So moving to the next item of business, which is number 6, which is the draft induction plan and arrangements for strategic planning. Could I refer members to the Secretariat briefing at page 87 of the members' packs, and can I invite again Shane to speak on this item?
Yeah, Chair, this is a fairly standard format. Members will be familiar with this from their work in other committees, so it's really essentially about induction of members and in terms of the role and functions of the committee, and also in terms of identifying strategic priorities for the committee's work programme. So if members really are content to just adopt that programme, and that will inform the agenda for future meetings then.
Okay, firstly, does anybody have any questions for the clerk on this particular item? No, and can I ask for an agreement for the draft induction plan? Agreed? Great. Thank you, members. Next item of business, which is correspondence. Could I refer members to the item of correspondence at page 90 from a member of the public who has written to all committees regarding his collection of political memorabilia? I'm sure we've all seen some of this work on our other committees. Could I advise members that other committees have forwarded a signed copy of an agreed set of minutes to the individual for his collection? Could I ask agreement to forward a signed copy of agreed minutes as a response to the correspondent? Members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, members. Item number 8, which is any other business. Does any other member have other piece of information or business that they wish to raise? I haven't been notified of any, but if anybody wants to, I can certainly raise. No. Okay, members, that's just date, time and place of next meeting. The next meeting of the committee will be scheduled once an initial topic list has been complied for consideration. It is likely that this will take a number of weeks given the time needed to implement the steps agreed by the committee. Members, given what we have said earlier about particular meeting times, that will be on a Tuesday morning, and members therefore can be advised in due course of a meeting date by the Secretariat. Are members content with that? Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you very much, members, and at that I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Committee Room 21. Sound. Committee Room 21. Sound.